Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. So today I was thinking I would actually go through a scavenger journal that I'm going to be working on. But before we begin, I just wanted to show you this awesome print that I got from Dee Dee in the mail. Isn't that cool? It's one of her lemur prints. I think she did this one on stream once because it looks really familiar to me. But yeah, she sent that to me as a thank you. So thank you, Dee Dee, because I absolutely love your art. Dee Dee's art's actually in my house a lot. I have two prints from her that I'd won a long time ago in one of her art drawings in my kitchen. And then I also have a beautiful, beautiful pan pastel portrait she did of my dog. So we are big Dee Dee fans in this household. So I am gonna have to find somewhere to hang this up. And because it's book related, I might end up hanging it in my library at some point. So I would absolutely love to hang this up somewhere. So thank you so much, and I really, really appreciate you. So I wanted to show you. So Devin Rex for Art, she had done a flip through of her Scabby for Janet M. Young's Scavenger that she does every year. And that Scavenger is over, so you can, if you want to do it, you still can, but you're not doing it to be in a drawing anymore. You're just doing it for your own enjoyment. And I've always wanted to do one of her scavengers because, I've talked about it before, but I was like a lurker of some of my favorite artists for years and years and years. Like I would say at least 5+ years. For Janet, I actually realized who she was through Dee Dee, and I actually had known about her scavenger hunt for a couple of years, but hadn't watched her channel until, I don't know, maybe a few months back. But I had always known her because I'd always seen her in the chats at Dee Dee's, and I, had known about her scavenger hunt because they always talk about her scavenger hunt every year there. So whenever I was watching Devin Rex for Art, she was doing a flip through of hers, and she was like, hey, if this encourages you to do the scavenger hunt, just do it. It's over now, but you should do it for yourself. So I'm gonna do that. I felt very empowered by that. So I found this old book. This book was originally a family tree book of some sort. So I just painted it black, and I kept this Norman Rockwell family tree picture on it because it's a Norman Rockwell like family book. And I knew I wasn't going to use it. It had never been used by my family. It actually had my family's last name stamped on it, but was never filled out. So I wanted to use it in a different way. So I decided that I was going to do my scavenger hunt in it. I do think that it's going to have to be repainted or something though, because I do notice that where I've painted at, some of it is breaking on the spine, but that's okay. So in here is, it just says, this is my scavenger hunt journal. My name's Keisha, so that's why it says Keisha instead of Keeks. And then I have everything from the 2025 scavenger hunt, and I have it all listed on here. I do still have the PDF on my phone, so if I think about it, I'll try to remember to post it on my video. And then as I'm going through, what I'm doing is I'm taking a very light green pen, and then I am just marking out anything that I'm done with. So far I'm not terribly far. I only just started working on this on Sunday, and I didn't get to work on it at all yesterday, and today's Tuesday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. So Monday I didn't get to work on it. Sunday I worked on it quite a bit. So I'll show you everything I did on Sunday because I was able to glue this in. I did this kind of, so my theme I decided to choose was the secret garden. I wanted to be kind of fancy. So I took one of the doors from Doorways to Discovery, which is a journal to explore behind closed doors. So it's basically a bunch of ephemera doors. And you can find this on Amazon, and it's by Catherine Anderson. So it's photography by her. She has two of them. One of them's big doors and one of them's small doors. I only have the one that has big doors in it. I don't have the small doors one. So in it, what I did is I decided to do something fun. And when you open it, I painted a little scene here. So I'm gonna try to hold it up a little bit. So it's just like a little garden in there. So it says, this way to the secret garden, and then you open it up. And then I thought it would be funny because one of the things was to have a keyhole. So I drew a little keyhole on this door and then tried to make this the keyhole to that door. because one of the things that you needed to do was to have a keyhole to peek through. So I tried to make it look like it was the store over here. And I add some gold to it, which is not on the store, but I thought maybe it would kind of tie in because of the colors together. And then on the other side of this, I have my black and white page, which I did with stamps. So these are all 4 different types of stamps. I actually have those stamps right here. So these are Tim Holtz mixed media ones, and you can see it's kind of like the sunflowers and just like some very beautiful, like realistic flowers. And I made it look kind of like a wallpaper in a way. So I'm really proud of how that turned out. My husband actually did not think those were stamps. So that kind of took care of my rubber stamps as well as my black and white. Over here I have like a family tree, which in my mind, those are the gardeners. And then I've got washi tape as my background, which the background idea, oddly enough, also came from Devin, because she had made this really cool page in one of her art journals, which was only washi tape. And I had played with that idea a little bit in my journal. Let's see if I can find it. In my art journal, because she had done that, I was like, hey, I haven't ever really played with washi tapes before. So I had done a whole bunch of washi tape pages of different tapes that I have so I could actually see what they looked like. Sorry, I thought there was a page behind there, but I guess not. It's just these 2 pages. So I really liked this thick page, and I thought it went really well with the garden theme, plus it has mushrooms and butterflies on it. So I stuck those down, and then I put my initials, so I have a K, and an H here. And then to add a little bit of sparkle and pizzazz, I don't know if you can really see it or not, but I took some of my Paul Rubens watercolors, and it's the really shiny ones, like I don't know if it has a specific name or not, but it's this set right here that has the glittery ones in it. And I took purple and green because those are kind of gardening colors to me, and splattered it because you're supposed to have some ink splatter on one of the pages. So I was trying to be kind of creative on how I could do that. Then the next page I did, I have like a napkin journal. This page is not done yet. I'm probably gonna add more to it. But I do think it's kind of cool because it has these 2 like foxes on it, and these 2 foxes are actually made with 4 foxes. I stacked 2 on top of each other. That way I wouldn't see as much of the plants through them. And honestly, I might name them because one of my favorite movies growing up was Fox and the Hound, and these remind me of Todd. So I'll have to put Todd on one, and I'll have to look up what the girl fox's name was and maybe put their names over it. But I'd like to add like a bird or something to this. This page is way too plain to me, but I know I'm just starting, so I'm not terribly worried about it. I also made my own pocket envelope. So I made that out of some, what do we call that? Origami paper, yeah. I used some origami paper and then did some stencil work behind it and put some really cool like bug stickers that are kind of glittery. And then I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with these yet, but one of the things was wild cards. So I have these little wild cards, and I might make little flowers or something out of them. But for right now, that's what's in my pocket. I don't have anything else in there. So to remind me, I have them poking up just a little bit. That way I'll remember, hey, your wild cards are there. And then what I wanted to work on today is actually going to be on this other side. So something that I wanted to do with for jagged edges is when I was a kid, in our planners we used to fold, not cut, but fold over pages that we were done with it and make this cool pattern. And to me it looks like a K, like my name, so I thought that was kind of fun to do 2 sides even though I only needed 1 jagged edge. But on the other side of this page is this Norman Rockwell of this little boy reading. And I thought maybe it would be a cool idea to try and draw a bookcase on the other side of this, because I believe one of these is to have books. Let's see here. And so I thought by having a bookcase, maybe that could help. Let me see here. What is it? Because I swear to goodness one of these said books on here. Creative borders, diffuse, postage, turquoise. Give me 1 second. Book page. So I thought it would be kind of cool to make a book nook and then be able to see him behind there reading. So I'm gonna probably not paint this unless I decide to add watercolor to it or something afterwards. But what I was thinking is I'm gonna draw with pencil first, like draw a triangle bookcase here. And then what I wanted to do was use different inks to draw it in and make it more detailed so that it'll pop out. And then, like I said, this kid will just be in the background. Like, so your eyes are gonna kind of hopefully mess with you a little bit so that you won't know if should I focus on this part or should I focus on the bookcase. So that is kind of my plan. So that is actually what I wanted to try to work on today. And I am honestly a little nervous about it because I used to actually draw all the time when I was younger, but I haven't drawn in a hot minute, except for when I did those ATC cards, which, by the way, thank you, Janet, for showing those. You were so sweet. But I wanted to try out drawing in front of you guys, and I am super nervous about it, so it may or may not turn out well. We will just have to see. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see where I am. I'm just adjusting my camera here, so I think that should be pretty good. So we're gonna try this out. It could work, it could not work. If it doesn't work, then I'll just paint over this page and try something else. But I wanted to see what we could do here. So the first thing that I am gonna do is I'm gonna try to draw a big triangle, just a big old triangle, and that will be our bookcase. Because I thought maybe with the triangle it'd be just really interesting. So I want it to be quite big. Something like that. And then I would like a little bit of a squared top, just because I think it would look a little bit better that way, and I might draw something on top of it anyway. We'll see. Just got that there, and then let's connect this here. Trying to get it to be somewhat straight because I don't want it to be all janky. There we go. So I'll begin. I'm going to use one of these kind of erasers because all my erasers are about 100 years old. All right. So that is going to be our main bookcase here. And then I'm going to use the ruler to kind of draw in everything. So let's see here. How thick do I want these shelves to be? I don't want it to be super thick because we want to be able to put our books on it, right? And right now it might not show up, but when I go back over it with the pen, it will. I'm just kind of eyeballing how thick these are. I don't have a specific number in mind or anything like that. Nothing too fancy. Maybe a little bit thicker at the bottom here. We could give our little bookcase some feet here. Something like that. And then how many shelves should I do? I want the shelves to be kind of big, because I want to be able to see what's going on. on them. So something like that, maybe. And I was thinking, because this is a garden, I could have some plants on it. Thought maybe that would be kind of cool. Shelf here. All right, so I think that's a lot more shelves than I originally thought I was gonna do. So I think that's totally fine. And then maybe, let's see here. Maybe we can do a potted plant of some sort here. Maybe this plant is kind of hangy. Don't know what kind of plant this is. I'll be honest, even though I chose Secret Garden, I'm not really a gardener. Or really even a plant person. But yeah, I just thought maybe it was a cute idea. And I have a ton of plant stickers and stuff like that, so I figured maybe this would help me get rid of some of them. That way I can move on to the next best thing, you know? And then I feel like, do we want it to be that short, that plant? Or do we want like a ridiculously long plant? Because that would be kind of cool too if it was like stupidly long. Like maybe it's one of those plants that's just like utterly ridiculous. And we'll be putting more details on this with the pen. We're just, with the pencil, we're just kind of seeing what we're doing. This be a little bit shorter. Something like that. And we'll be erasing all the pencil marks, so I'm not terribly worried about that. So there's our big long plant. And then we'll have some other plants in here too, probably. Let's see. And then I want to put something up here on top, but I'm not really sure what to do with that yet. Or maybe that blank space is a good idea. We'll leave it alone for right now and see what happens. And then let's go ahead and have a stack of books here. Do just a stack of 3 nice sized books. So we got a couple books there, and then we can have some standy books. And I don't want all my books to be the same size, so we'll have some that are and some that are not the same, just for fun. Have a little bit of height variance. maybe we've got a book that's leaning, giving us the Tower of Pisa. Something like that. And then maybe some more stand-up books behind here. This is probably not good for books. I would assume that this would harm your books quite a bit if there was a plant there. But that's okay. I don't honestly know how you'd water the plants. That's my question. Do something like that. So that's our first one. And maybe we'll think of some funny titles or something to give them after we've kind of detailed out what we want. And maybe we have another plant here. Like, I'm gonna draw another like little bowl here. And then have a nice little plant here. And maybe this bowl has like little circles on it or something different. And get some of those little lines on the leaves. Something like that. And then we'll get some more books on there. Maybe this shelf has a couple of skinny books on it. Like that. And then maybe a fat book here. But he's short and fat. Yep. And then some more thin books. Just to give some variances. Try not to make them too diagonal. I have a bad problem about doing that sometimes. There we go. So that's our next shelf. Maybe this shelf doesn't have a plant. Maybe instead it has like a globe of some sort. That'd be kind of cool. Like that, or just something kind of interesting. And then we'll put some more books here. And maybe there's a book stand of some sort. Those can be our book stands. That way our little globe doesn't get ran over. Just a lot of lines, nothing particularly special about them. But we could make them all gardening books if we wanted to, or like maybe some conspiracy books. That might be fun too. It is a secret garden. Gotta have a little bit of fun with it. Thin ones. spots here. Ooh, my lights just blinked. Okay, so we've got that, and then let's do another little book stand here. There we go. Okay, so there's that shelf. And then maybe we can have a cactus over here. So this cactus, let's make the bowl a little bit longer like that. And then do some funny balls or something on it. Something to kind of break up the monotony a little bit. And maybe we can have some more stacks of books over here. There's a very long book that's stacked on there. But that's okay. And some more standing up books. We've got our last bookshelf. I wonder if maybe, I kind of got a cool idea now. What if this bookcase is actually behind this kid? That could be a fun idea because I'm doing this in pencil so I can erase stuff. What if we did that? That would be kind of cool. We're gonna think about it. And then we've got our taller books down here. In that case, instead of having this one leaned over like that, we'll go ahead and make this a couple of stacks behind him. He could be our reader that's here. Maybe he's interested in plants. only problem is his dog. Because his dog is kind of in the bookcase, which is a little weird. I guess we could just dark out behind the dog. Yeah, we'll say the dog's on the bookcase. Why not? Could be fun. All right, so we've got ourselves a bookcase here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my black pen and draw on the shelf part. And I'm just using this is just a regular Staples pen. I'm not gonna use any gel pens on this one just because I wanna be able to put shading in here. And I didn't think I was gonna be able to do that without, let me make sure I'm still in here, sort of. Let's kinda try not to knock all the stuff off my desk here. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks all right. All right, so I'm just gonna go in here with a black pen and start making our shelf come to life here. Because that's where things are gonna get interesting, I think. And the pencil is probably going to smear a little bit. Like I said, I am definitely going to be erasing everything afterwards, so it's okay. Not super worried about it. Hello, bookshelf dog. My lines are not going to be straight even though I used a ruler, because I don't know, I've always kind of been a scribbler when I draw a little bit, so I don't actually care if it's straight or not. I know that sounds terrible, but to me, I feel like the ruler is just to get the gist of it. The real drawing part here is me not using anything extra like that. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I just kind of like it to look like a drawing, you know, I don't want it to be perfect. Because if it's too perfect, then, you know, it loses that kind of handmade touch, in my opinion. I'm not gonna worry about shading or anything like that just yet. I'm just trying to get everything in. Because once we're in, we're in. Because I'm gonna erase the pencil so that it doesn't continue to smear everywhere. Something like that. Go ahead and draw through the plant here just because it'll make it a little bit easier to keep the lines straight. And I'm going to be doing the plants with blue, so it'll be okay. One gripe about pencil lead is it gets absolutely everywhere, and I used to only exclusively draw with pencil. Like, I used to never color anything. Like, I would just only do line art. I used to say I was a line artist because coloring took too long and I didn't have enough time for that, and I was never as good of a colorist as my mother, so I was just like, whatever, you know. Nowadays, I experiment with things more. I'm not quite so picky about it. Trying not to get that leaf in there. There we go. And then now I gotta remember that I decided that he's in the front instead of the background, so in the foreground I think it is. So I'm gonna have to stop. Like that. Did that bottom shelf. Oops, I forgot this line here. Where the dog is laying on something on the shelf. Okay, so we've got that, and then now we're ready for our actual detail, or well, you know, for the outline of these other objects before I start erasing. So I was thinking that plant leaves, do the actual pots in black. this could be one of those plants that looks like it has like all the little circles for leaves. Just because that would make it look a little bit interesting. Like I think they're called like pearl plants or something. String of pearls. It's a type of succulent. I know that much. I was thinking that would be pretty cool. Got a song stuck in my head while I'm doing this. I don't know if you guys have listened to that one song. Her name's Lola something, where it's like, I'm too messy, or I'm just too darn clean. Got a job, then you ask me where the hell I've been. You know that song? Apparently she sang at Coachella recently. And had kind of a panic attack or something, poor girl. Of course, I can imagine that would be a lot of people. Like, I would not be okay singing in front of that many people. So I don't blame her. But I really like her voice. It's kind of scratchy. I don't know if she like smokes cigarettes or something. But I kind of like how scratchy her voice is. Like, I don't know. There's something kind of interesting about people who you would think would not be able to sing that actually can. I don't know. I like her scratchy voice. It's kind of a relaxing voice. I don't know, something like that. I think that's gonna look really cool, especially with this really long one that's going all the way down. Like, I think that's gonna be really dope. I didn't have a green pen, so I figured the blue would be pretty cool. Just like a cool color. And you know, if this is not how to draw a string of pearl plant, it's fine. It's make-believe. But I just feel like it's just a bunch of circles. Or at least that's how mine's gonna be. A little bit of a kind of a wiggly look to it, because I figure if it's touching these shelves, chances are that would affect something, I would think. See how that's looking so far. Yeah, you can kind of see what I'm going for on the camera. I just wanted to make sure. So I have it high above, and like I was, unfortunately the video that got ruined the other day, my son had actually knocked into, and he didn't run the video. I want to be very clear about that. I'm not saying he ruined it. I couldn't download the video, and it was that one of that Little Red Riding Hood that I'd talked about in my previous video. Couldn't download the video, so it got ruined and corrupted. But in that video, he had accidentally hit the camera, and you guys had been staring at my legs for a solid minute while I was trying to work on things. So maybe it's a good idea, or a good thing that that did not turn out, because then I'd have to be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, you know? Whoops. But ever since then, I've been a little paranoid about where my camera is. So I've been trying to make sure that when I'm not paying attention, I don't accidentally like elbow it or elbow this chair that's behind this table, because then it's just gonna look funny and I don't want that. Make this one a little bit longer than the other one. Something like that. This is going to be a very healthy, crawly looking plant. Because this one goes all the way down to here. And then I'll probably use the red pen for the books. To get some variance in that plant wiggle so that all of these don't look like just the same circles. Getting there. Maybe that. I think that's personally long enough. We don't need it to be as long as that one was. And then I do have just a couple more plants here. And after I get this lined in here, like I said, I'll erase my pencil and then I'll start actually shading things to make it look better. So it's one of the other reasons why I wanted to use an ink pen like this, is because you can definitely get shading in there a lot easier with them. This crystal, whoa, no, it kind of got wiggly there. It's because of what's behind it. So I'm gonna go like that, maybe because I screwed it up, which is fine. Two bookmarks in here. Those are just like book stoppers, bookends. Bookends, that's the word I'm looking for. do a part of a cactus over here. You won't be able to tell what that is, but secretly there's a cactus behind this kid. Okay, so that's that, and then we can do our red books. Mark those in here. Uh-oh. There's our red pen. All right. I was a little worried about that. This did not act like it wanted to do it. Still not acting like it wants to do it. This is not a great pen, apparently. To use the red because I thought maybe that could give it kind of a leathery look whenever we go to shade it. That red is really struggling on this paper for some reason. Interesting. Because the other pens like worked perfectly, and I don't think it's like an old ink issue because of it just I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels like it's being silly. Like it's just struggling with the paper in general. Almost done with the outline of everything, and then we can erase the pencil and go on to bigger, better things. Like what I was thinking about doing was making the bookcases dark in the background, kind of. That way we can get rid of some of this circle area, but we'll see. is really fighting me to draw on this paper, so I don't know really how much red we're actually going to be seeing in this. We'll see. I keep saying we'll see because I don't know. I just don't know. If we absolutely have to, we can certainly add more blue and black to it. I was just hoping that the red would be helpful. Let's see. That's in his outfit. Like I'm pushing so hard on this red that it might go through the page, like the pen. So I'm hoping I don't damage it. It's got plenty of ink in it. It's got about half the pen left. So it's not that. It just might be an old pen. One of those pens that needs to be put down. So we've got everything lined in here that we want. So now I'm gonna take and erase everything. And it could smear the pen a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I pushed really hard into this paper, so possibly. But I'm just gonna go through and get rid of all those pencil marks because we don't need them anymore. Plus, this will help our boy become part of the foreground by getting rid of these lines. Yeah, see, that looks better already. And it'll also get rid of our plant marks and any unstraight lines that we want to hide. Got ourselves a pretty decent looking bookshelf. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm still in here. There we go. And now we can start adding little details. Like one of the things I was thinking about doing was maybe some cross hatching up here, like some cross hatch shading. So I'm gonna try that out and see how it goes. I'm not really good at that per se. But it could look kind of cool. Because we are in a bookcase. gets lighter and lighter. So see, it was really thick and now it's not because we're at that plant. Alright. And then maybe this pot I'll do pretty black. Just to kind of give the idea that there's a plant, a potted plant there, something like that. And then so start at the top dark and then go lighter towards the things. And then we need to think of some names of books, or like some fun stuff that we can do with them. These books, some of them are a little small. Maybe with a black pen we can go through and add some names to them. Kind of the nice thing about this pen not working very well is it's like giving us some good shading, which is nice. I did do these a little bit darker because I thought maybe it would have more shadows because of the angles. Looking pretty good though. Here we go. Something like that. And for this pot, add some polka dot action. Blue. Where'd I put my blue pen? Oh, here it is. I was like, girl, what'd you do? This one might be a little bit harder to see, this plant, because of where it is in the middle of that Norman Rockwell drawing. So it's a little heavier, I guess, is what you want to call it. Either way, it's still gonna look pretty cool though, I think. Sorry, I'm not talking much. I'm just kind of enjoying. But I do think that that'll be a really fun page. Not sure what I'm going to do with this other jagged edge page yet, but I definitely was thinking about maybe doing some found family or found relatives somewhere in here. I just thought that would be kind of fun to have near it. But what I might do while I've got you is, if there's enough time left after I finish this page, this little page here, then maybe I'll figure out something to do with these napkins to make them look a little bit better. Oopsie. Wish my lights would quit flickering though. It's kind of crazy. Every time the air conditioner is coming on, it's just flickering. Sounds like a husband problem. I hate to say that, but I don't know anything about electricity. Let's do this. Maybe these two are part of a set. Hey, sweetheart, how are the boys?
Hi.
Hi, want a hug?
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
What's that got on?
Huh?
What is that?
That's my pen.
Oh, I thought it was a brush.
A brush? No, I wouldn't get paint on you.
Mhm.
Did you have fun with the boys?
Yeah?
Good. My son just got home from playing with his friends down the street. So you might hear him in the background now, or my husband when they come downstairs, because I don't have like a real art room. I'm actually just kind of in the basement. Like we just have like a kind of a wide open basement, and I like to kind of sit near them. That way while I'm doing like creative stuff, I can still interact with them, because that's really important to me. So you may or may not hear him more, I don't know. Something like that. Looks like he's gonna put on some video games. Alright, well at this point I will pause for a moment and I will come back to this in about an hour or so. That way you'll be able to hear me over all the explosions. So I will be back. For you it'll just be a second, and for me it'll be a little bit longer than a second, and that's gonna be okay. So I'll be right back. It was actually just a couple minutes. I found the remote and turned it down. Look at me being a cool mom. Alright, anyway. Continue on this.
Mommy,
Yeah, babe?
you know what?
Hmm?
There's only 1 bot, 2 bot, 3 bot, 4 bots in this room.
Only 4 bots in that room? That's wild, buddy.
Yeah, but I don't know how to do this programmatically. I don't. Ow.
Well, you just gotta keep trying, honey. The more you try, the better off you'll be. Kind of like those 2 war bots that you were trying to get past that you couldn't, and then suddenly you did. It's like that. I think he's gonna be an expert at this game. He's been playing Ratchet and Clank for weeks on end, and I used to do that too with video games or like movies, where I just would not touch anything else but that until I was absolutely done with it. So it's gonna be a while before he's actually done with it, I believe. Give that globe a little bit of fun here.
Mommy, look. I got 2 bots in, but this one's not going to be powered up.
Well, you just gotta keep practicing, sweet pea.
Because you see that jumping bot right there?
Mm-hmm.
And that bot right there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at those 2 jumper bots. But they kind of mean...
It's a puzzle, buddy.
Look at this.
Uh-huh, I see that.
But, these get out the box, right?
That is for a bot, yes, you are right.
Like me, like these 2 bots right here.
Mm-hmm.
But this is almost powered up.
Yeah, You're just gonna have to figure out how to move them to get it to power up that other side, bud. You'll figure it out. I know you will. You're very smart.
I don't know how this puzzle works.
Well, experiment with it a little bit. Try moving your bots around.
Yeah, but these two are the only last ones. And if I mix them up, that won't help either.
Well, you won't know unless you try. Because I can guarantee you probably do have to actually mix them up a little bit.
I kind of need some help.
Well, when Daddy comes down, he can help you. I'm filming right now,
See
Sweet
this
Pea.
computer right here?
I do.
It's broke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And this ship's damaged.
Oh, is it?
And I'm in the damaged control room. And you see those things right there?
I do.
They're the pump that power it up.
Good knowledge, buddy.
Well, if they are not online, that means the ship will break down.
Yeah.
And I mean it cannot break down.
Well, when Daddy gets in here, he can help you with that. I'm no good at that, honey.
I know you can do this part, but you just have to try your best.
You're very sweet, Ronan.
I hate the part when I control the spot.
Yeah?
I hate the part.
Well, I'm sorry. All games have parts that we struggle with, but you just got to keep trying. There we go. It's looking pretty good. Okay, see here. We're definitely going to need the crosshatch so we can see, because it looks like he's got pieces of pages in his hand, and we can't really see that
Yeah, but I
without some
know I know
shading.
the part with all three of these things, but I can't with like this. That button really means to be powered up by all three of these things.
Oh. Well, Mommy's making a video right now, but if you wait for Daddy to come down, it'll be okay. Where's Daddy?
He's going pond.
Oh. Okay.
Do you see this track right here? Do you see this track right here?
I do.
That's where I need to go. Well, I figured out this part of it.
Oh, good.
But then I'll get back on it, and then I need to get a switch.
Oh, a switch?
The difector.
The difector?
Oh, Victor.
Oh, Victor. Victor. Okay. You're talking about the robot that attacks you. Okay. I'm on board with you now. We've been trying to build his confidence because there's been parts of games where he refuses to play. He's actually been doing really good. He yesterday got through a part that he's never gotten through before, so we're pretty proud of him. He's doing pretty good.
It kind of means somebody needs help.
Yep, and I told you you're gonna have to wait for Daddy, Sweet Pea.
Yeah, but these two bots are the only thing they can deal with, but it won't be easy.
Yep.
Then I'll have to take one of these power bots out. That might
It's
be
kind of interesting now that this is in here. It kind of looks like a coffee stain on the paper. Oop, I gotta be careful. I put a hole in the paper there. because this pin's not really wanting to pin right. And that envelope is on the other side. It's kind of affecting it a little bit too, it looks like. But not too bad. Oh, I forgot to put some cross hatching over here, so it looks kind of silly.
I kind of need Daddy's help on this part.
Okay. Why don't you go tell him real quick? There we go.
Man, no you won't.
He's imitating one of the characters. Go, and then we just have one last shelf left here. Okay, something like that. All right. With that, we've got ourselves a nice bookcase, and then let's make a little red mat for this poor pupper here. There we go. So this is the Secret Gardens little library area now. So let's see. Let me just kind of hold it up a little bit so you can see it. So it's not like a super detailed thing, but I definitely think it looks cool. There we go. So remember, on this side we have this, and then when you flip it over you have your little hand-drawn library. And then we could also add some other little things here, like maybe we want to add some shadows under here. We can do that, just to give it a little bit of something extra. totally fine. Maybe like where the dog and the boy are, we can make it a little bit darker. Yeah, I think that looks really good. So let's see what we can mark off here. And I want my green pen for this. So we needed a book page, so we got that. And then I want to see if there was anything about inked art. Let's see if there was anything about ink pens in here, because I don't really remember. Something cool, creative border, art nuevo, circles. I think we can go ahead and get rid of circles. We had a bunch of little circles everywhere. Doodles, narrographic, favorite animal, view through window. There's trading cards, something coffee. In a way, that looks kind of like a coffee stain, the way it is right there, but I feel like that would be cheating, so I'm not gonna mark that one. Greeting card, bubble wrap, riddle joke, bingo. Put a bird on it. Gratitude, 2 colors you hate, put a butt on it. Yeah, I think blue and brown page, quilt, mosaic page. Add a tassel, something given to you, swatches, fancy lettering, all about you, an emoji, a jelly print. Okay, so we don't really have anything else in there that we need right now. So I do want to kind of go back to this one page over here. Maybe we can find a nice bird or something to put there. I have a book of birds. Let's see. It just depends on, do we want an older bird or a younger bird? I got a bit of both. So let's see. Because I've got 2 books here that have a lot of birds in them. I've got this one, which might go kind of well with that. Oh, here's a little pouch. Cute. So let's see. That robin's cute. Let's see. Oh, we could have 2 birds here. That'd be kind of cool. The 2 birds with the 2. Looks like 2 young robins is what it says on it. So let's take that out of there. Maybe that would look good up there for something. I don't think we need these tropical ones. Let's see. Scissors. Where have my scissors ran off to? Scissors, scissors, scissors. Ah, scissor drawer. Of course, that's where they belong. All right. So, I'm not gonna go super hardcore on the fussy cuts with this, but just enough. And maybe we'll cut out that little middle piece there too. Those guys up here, just so there's, I mean, there definitely needs to be more on this page, and I'm sure as I go I'll think of more, but I do want to put these little birds up here, I think. So let's do that real quick. Now this is on top of a napkin, so hopefully it's gonna stay okay. We will just have to play and see. Scoot this down a little bit so we could see a little bit better. All right, and then put some glue upon it and rub it in. it all nice and saturated. Go something like that. And turn them over, and maybe this can be coming off the page a little bit like that. Dab it a little bit with a paper towel because I got some of the glue out. There we go. There we go. That at least gives it a little something. I don't know what this page is missing though, because it's definitely missing something. But as I go, I'll be thinking about it. So anyway, thank you for joining me today in putting the bird here, but also mostly in drawing this bookcase. I'm pretty happy with it, and I think it's gonna go really well. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.